Let us begin.
Yes, please.
God.
Hello,
Thank you,
and
sir.
welcome
May I have
to the
another?
squares of the round table. We are so glad that you could make your way in. Come through our halls. To my left is the alchemist they call Mike Boyle.
Hey.
And to my right, the man of the joyous gab, Mr. Jeff Stein.
Fuck you very much.
Mm.
And thank you for coming with us over here.
I
And
figured I'd
Ivan.
go to non-joyous.
And me.
And me.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Where are we going? I don't know. Wherever
I
the
don't
wind
know.
takes us. We're a leaf
I
on the
don't know.
wind.
Oh, I don't think that's a good
We're
idea.
part of
I
the
might-
breeze.
I don't think that's a good idea. I had Taco Bell earlier.
But Taco Bell's on Tuesdays, dude. Our Taco Bell has changed. It's no longer a Taco Bell Long John Silver's. It's just a Taco Bell. We lost the Long
Really?
John Silver's.
Oh, you lost the
it's really
fish?
funny. It's really funny you say that. Because when I was driving
That's
to
not
your
funny.
place, I
It's awful.
almost stopped. Well, I was just saying, I almost stopped there because I haven't seen a Long John Silver's in ages.
Yep. By the time
So
you've
for-
driven through, it's already gone.
Ah,
Yep. They changed
Yeah.
the menu. As you saw, they're remodeling the outside of the restaurant.
okay.
There's
Man, I'm sorry about the Long John Silver's. I just laughed because I remember at one time, man, that was like the Friday thing.
Well, there was a time where Long John Silver's was awful. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't eat it anymore.
Oh,
Actually, I worked the year I turned 16. That summer, I spent like a month. I worked at a Long John Silver's, and that was awful.
Oh, shit.
But I was 16 before they had issued like curfew or anything. So they were. I was 16. I was 16. They were working me till like 1 o'clock. I was like, no, I can't work here after 1
Man, I
o'clock.
could use some
I had
pasta.
I had summer driver's ed that year, so I couldn't work it. Anyway, Long John Silver's used to suck, but now it got good, and now it's gone. I don't know where the nearest one is.
I
now.
honestly used to like their chicken.
Yeah, they got good chicken planks. Yeah, they're right.
Those chicken plank things were good.
Yeah,
Depends on which Long John
and
Silver's you went
the
to.
coleslaw. I like the Long John Silver's coleslaw better than the KFC coleslaw.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I had a better bite to it. I like the coleslaw KFC at Long John Silver's.
You
But
know,
now it's gone, so that
funny you
sucks.
say that. It's funny
Oh,
you say
I'm
that.
sorry, man. Okay, I take back my laughter. I feel bad.
KFC's hard to find around where I am now too.
Yeah, we got a
It is
KFC, but it's not
easy
good.
to find. It's hard to find. It's hard to find
You got a
KFC now.
that's not good? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, KFC's not good. There's
You
the
know,
one here
those are
in
places-
town.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know
I'm
what?
so sorry.
Long John Silver's and KFC are both places where it's like, it's kind of hit or miss. They're either, there's no consistency. You can't be like, okay, like when
it
you
can't
go
be
to one
like
of those.
McDonald's. No,
Right.
where
And it's so funny. We give McDonald's all this crap, but it's like, at least when you go to McDonald's, it's McDonald's.
And it
It's not
all
going to be
tastes the
any
same.
better, not going to be worse. Right? It's all going to be about the same. There's a consistency level. Or if you go to, it's funny, we talked about Taco Bell. Taco Bell's pretty consistent. Okay?
Yeah, for the
You're
most
gonna
part,
Get what
yeah.
you're going to get what you're going to get from
Burger
Taco
King, not so much.
Bell. Right. Burger King, not so much. Arby's, not so much. Long John Silver's, not so much. KFC, not so much.
Yeah, our KFC here in town is bad.
Yeah, it can be very hit or miss
My-
on
my,
KFC.
My Popeyes up the street is really good. I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, Popeye
Yeah.
seems to have like a gaining consistency, especially now
Yeah.
they've gained notoriety with their sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sandwich. It's funny. I really only go for the sandwich. I mean, that has enough consistency.
Yeah.
But I have eaten, I have eaten their, their regular meals. I've had their breast and a wing or a breast and a leg and that type of thing, and that's pretty consistent, and then the flavor is always really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. I don't know why. Their chicken sandwich, I can do that and it doesn't bother me. I get like the regular chicken. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be in the bathroom. I don't know what it is. There's something about something they put in there that like gives me
a little bit extra butter, maybe.
I don't know.
There might be something in the sauce.
Yeah. So, welcome to Meals of the Squared here at the Squares Round Table.
Well, no, you're the one who talked about you don't have a Long John Silver.
Yeah, it sucks. I know we talked food quite a bit last week, but that's all right though.
Well,
we're passionate about food. We eat every day. Some of us multiple times per day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Food is great. We like food.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So anywho, what have we been doing this week, gentlemen?
Oh God.
Being bad.
Ivan, you've been bad.
Yeah, of course I've been bad a lot of the time.
You've been smoking that Mary Jane, playing them rock and roll records.
Yes, I am afraid so. New product called Powder Keg. Yes, definitely lives up to the hype. Visit your mocha.
Powder Keg?
Yeah, Powder Keg. That's what it's called.
Some strain, or what is this?
Yeah. Okay, Powder Keg. Yeah, here we go. Marijuana with Jive and Ivan.
Okay, so it's some strain. Okay.
You know what? We really should have a Jive and Ivan marijuana session segment. Why not?
Yeah, like the soup du jour. Now it's the weed du jour with Jive and Ivan.
Yeah, seriously. We could like review weed. That'd be.
Okay, I mean, I'm in it. I'm in for it.
Let him put on his smoking jacket and.
Yeah, seriously. You know what? You should do that on like YouTube, Ivan. You should be like, and now my latest review of weed, and you like pull out like a smoking jacket, and you sit there.
Yeah,
and
you
put it like in like the pipe or something like that. Yeah.
In actual like the old style kind of like Sherlock Holmes kind of pipe, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! That sounds really cool, man. This is genius stuff,
you know
man.
What? You get like the Atom in there, so you can put your feet up and you make sure you're wearing like bunny slippers or some shit like that. So it's funny.
I'm down for that.
So, tell us about Powder Keg. I'm begging to hear what Powder Keg is about.
Well, let's go ahead and do this right. Hey, everybody, how we all doing? Okay, hi, as in H-I-G-H. So let me go ahead and take a toke and give you a hot man.
Okay, but then I'm going to want to go to Taco Bell for munchies.
He's actually toking up on the podcast.
Okay, well, that's okay.
I still got that picture you baked on Matt's couch from 3 years ago.
Was his ass macramated to the sofa? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, you're feeling good. That couch was floating a little bit, I think.
I mean, whatever Matt's daughter had in the pipe was amazing. Okay? And speaking of amazing, okay, this is from the Graffiti line of products. Okay, and this is called Powder Keg. And of course, this product called Powder Keg is a sativa dominant strain. Okay, which means...
What does that mean?
Let's find out together.
Okay, so what it means is that it's a sativa strain, which basically focuses on just that. Focus. If you are going to do something for the long run, the focus will be there. The concentration will be there. It doesn't give you the munchies quite as quick, and it doesn't make you get a case of dry mouth because of the components that are in the weed. Okay, it's a great inhale, not a harsh exhale. Bong over pipe. Well, I would say for me, the pipe wins out for me on this one because of the fact that I get more out of getting it from the bowl straight into the pipe against me using a bong, and then it goes through some water, which changes some of the component. So, yes, definitely the one this week at Mocha is Graffiti Powder Keg.
So that's the weed du jour with Jive and Ivan.
Yeah.
All right.
So what does it taste like?
Well, it really, most sativas have a kind of a citrusy type of a taste. Like, say, I can equate it to maybe a papaya or something of that, like a mango type of feeling to it. It's got some sweetness, but then just a touch little bitterness at the end of it. But it also depends on the strain that you're getting to, because the indicas those are the weeds that help you to sleep, tone things down, to do, like you've been, working your ass off all day and you need something to take away the pain and the ache in the bones, and just to mellow out easy, as you will. And also the indica also gives you that added dimension of bringing in certain fidelities.
Extra
like if
dimension.
you listen. Well, yes, because when you're listening to music, here's a sensation where you actually step into the music while under its influence. It's really quite the discovery piece, especially if you start doing older music. It's really quite the vibe. It's very lively. So yeah, but
You mean like Justin Bieber?
I don't know about Justin Bieber, but
I'm sorry.
All I know is that so there is a difference in the weed, and each strain has its own little properties, and those properties are either straight or they're hybrid with other components, blueberry kush, and Maui Wowie, Panama Red, and of course, songs about weed have been in existence since the phonograph record's been, created. So it's like, but
I love
now
these names, like Maui Wowie. Like, what the fuck is that?
Maui Wowie is a gold strain with red lines and green lines, and and my understanding, if my
It
memory,
just sounds like a stoned out Hawaiian.
well, it is. It's a Hawaiian strain. Very good. See, 10 points for Jeff.
No,
That's
no,
right.
I give credit
10
to,
points
like,
for Gryffindor.
Some sort of like Hawaiian person sitting around getting stoned, going, "It's a pineapple." Whoa, Look,
You know what?
volcano.
Believe it or not,
Look, there's a volcano, and there's lava coming at me. Wow, it's hot.
Volcanoes
Jeff,
are like, so it's like a mountain that has like a creamy center.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's heated, and like when it touches my skin, it's bad, and I die. But I'm on weed, so I don't feel shit right now.
Well, maybe you might want to take the leap once with me, if you ever decide you want to do that.
If I ever did that stuff, it'd be the edibles. There's no question in my mind it would have to be the edibles.
Oh, dude, yeah. Speaking of edibles, okay, I was at this party yesterday. I'm not gonna name the person's party that I was. It was a private affair, and so I'm in the backyard, and here my friend comes in through the door, and he comes up to me. He goes, "Hey,
wait! You're in the backyard, but he comes in through the door. So
he comes in.
He comes out through the door towards you.
Yes.
Okay.
So, being said, he's like, "Ivan, check this out. I made this papaya type punch and everything like that, and I infused it."
In fairness, Mike, he might be pretty stoned. It could be the other way.
This is supposed to give him the focus, though.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
Focus on your story, Ivan.
Yes.
Use the powder keg to focus on your story. Please continue.
Thank you. I shall. So, as far as that was concerned, he comes up. He goes, "Yes, I made this papaya type, juice and everything. Man, I infused it like with all of this, with all this THC. You want to try some?" I'm like, okay. I've trusted him because he's made some ass kicking edibles. The guy knows how to bake. He knows how to bake, so you get baked. Okay, the man knows his shit, and that So anyway, all I know is he gives me half this cookie. He goes, "Here, you take this," and I've had the punch and everything like that. And I already had, I was good. I was good up until after my shift, and then after that, that's when I started making some trips outside the back way, into the alley, with my friends that I hadn't seen in like, oh my goodness, years. It was really quite a wonderful event, and it was full of beautiful things. And So there you go. As far as edibles, yeah, he brought edibles in. Hey, sharing edibles with everybody. And, so it's a beautiful thing, and, so yeah, the party was really nice. My friend was really happy, and, he was just, content that we all got together and we all did some wonderful things on a Sunday afternoon. So that being said, it all worked out for the best. And, I'm just real happy for that. So, edibles. Yes. Yeah, you need them. I know where to find them.
But then that's not really an edible because it's a punch.
No. Not the cookie. Well, not the punch. No, the cookie he gave me.
Oh.
I thought he said he had some punch that he infused.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's not edible. It's a drinkable.
Yeah.
No. He infused some punch, and he infused the cookie too.
Okay.
And he had 20 milligrams in the cookie too. He says, "You take this; it's got 20 milligrams of it." And I'm like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, but he infused he did It sounds like he did some sort of punch too. So basically, I didn't realize.
He did. He did a punch. Yeah, he did a punch, and he did a cookie.
Got it.
Okay.
Aha.
All right. So, anything else? You said you spun yesterday. You had you're doing some Facebook lives.
Well, right now, I gotta move out of the way because my beautiful wife Julie is home. I'd like to go ahead and move the chair and let out my love. You poor thing.
Hello, boys.
She says hello.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
Did you put it away?
Oh, I got it.
Refrigerated, huh?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, I don't quite know where to go with it.
Well, maybe you need to give Julie some powder keg. She can focus.
The kitchen is your territory.
Okay.
So you've not been doing any Facebook lives?
There's a huge piece of meat. What is that?
Yikes.
It's a ground chuck.
Oh, ground chuck.
like 5
It
pounds?
is. It's a 5-pound chub.
Damn.
It was a good price for $14.
Shit. You're right. It was a good price.
Yeah. Ivan's got large meat, Mike.
He says Ivan's got big beef chub.
Big beef chub?
Yeah.
No, I said to Mike, he's got big beef now.
He's got a big beef.
Large meat.
5-pound chuck.
Oh,
I think that was one of Ivan's shows. This is bad jiving tunes with 5-pound chuck here.
Yeah.
And inspired by the Maniac comics that are my best friends. This is great.
So
5-pound chuck and Vince McMahon go. There you go.
Yeah.
So have you been keeping them in line on the spinning wheel, or do you have to go in there and crack some heads again lately?
Yeah, seems it's more drama llamas.
Well, okay, and the thing about it is, I'm not nearly as annoyed. I know that. I know that's I know that's not a nice thing to say, but it's how I feel. It's because it's like every little shit. It's like, it's a lump on their ass. I'm like, come on now. We're getting to the point where it's starting to micromanage this shit. It's crazy.
They should wipe if they've got a lump on their ass from shit.
Well, and you just, you do what you can do, and when you can do it, the haters are gonna hate.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Have they considered a bidet?
Yeah. We just keep going, and that's what I keep telling Jimmy. I was like, dude, it's like, and it's like, and what it was, okay, the latest thing is that, okay, Jimmy inadvertently, accidentally put the wrong date on one of the venues. And all of a sudden, you got some of the people that are surrounded with Paul Kirby all up in arms and, sending not so nice messages to Jimmy, about, well, what about this, what about that? And poor Jimmy's like, I screwed up. I'm sorry. It was an accident. I'm mourning the loss of my friends. Sorry.
So that's he made a mistake. He corrected it. End of story.
Right, exactly.
What else needs to be said?
Well, no, nothing needs to be said. It's just,
I want a pound of Kush.
You want a pound of Kush? What, this is a blackmail scheme now?
I don't know. It's like Mike said, "What do you want?" I'm like,
"What do you want?" Well, that's obviously what Jeff wants. In a cookie.
Wow.
You want some pineapple Kush?
In a cookie, apparently.
No, not necessarily.
Inedible.
Well, what do you think I'm talking about? Little squeezy pineapples, the pineapple Kush.
What if I just spread it on pizza? Is that allowable?
You can put it on pizza. I mean,
oregano. It's it's oregano. It's not really oregano.
Well, I don't know. Let me talk to the chefs on that one. I know you can do certain things with it in a dry state, but then of course, also what's cool is that you got the buttered state, or the can of butter as it's called, and no, come on, easy. Okay, yeah, this was kind of a bad thing for poor Julie.
Why? What's bad with cannabis? Wait, there's cannabis laced butter?
Okay, yes, it was, yeah, what it was that, my daughter, Grace, okay, she decides she's gonna go ahead and infuse all of this butter, with weed and everything like that, goes through this whole
nice
situation, okay? And she made the peanut butter, and then what else? They go ahead and they started baking all this really good, bakery items with it.
Nice.
So what happens is that she sent that was when she brought a bag over with the crumbs or something. So yeah,
She sent a baggie over with the crumbs from the brownies, and she sent you a big cookie.
Yeah, she sent me a big cookie. She sent me, these little brownie crumbs.
She had just maybe a quarter cup.
Yeah.
A cup of peanut butter left, nothing she really do with it.
We should just put Julie on the mic.
That refrigerator for I don't know how long. Until one night, Ivan says, "Hey, why don't you put some of that can of butter on some toast for me?" I'm like, "Okay." So I make his toast. I'm thinking, maybe I'll try this. Because, I don't have a lot of experience with weed. So I thought, let me give this a shot. Well...
Yeah.
Wait, stop.
What?
You live with Ivan, but you have no experience with weed.
Until today, until this time.
My own experience.
Okay. Not even the giant cloud, because I've been around Ivan when the giant cloud happened.
So what happened?
Experienced him. Well, okay, so Ivan had his and he was fine. I had my piece of toast. And I'm like, I don't feel anything. And I'm like, okay, well, it's been in there a while. Maybe it lost its potency. That's fine. Then all of a sudden I started feeling kind of nice. And then it just kept going and going and going. And pretty soon, the room was spinning. And I was viciously ill.
Yeah.
I am crying. And I am like, make this stop. Because I was on the tilt-a-whirl from hell. And I went to the bathroom because I thought I was going to throw up, and I sat down on the toilet and then said, I can't move. Give me a baggie. So I went and got me a baggie, and I call Grace. Please call Grace. Maybe she'll know what to do. There's got to be something you can do to reverse this. There has to be something.
The anti-weed.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
some kind of
so called my
cure.
daughter, and she happened to be at a get-together with her friends, so she had us on speaker.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm crying and I'm puking in the bag and I'm like, oh my God, make it stop. How do I make it stop? Just, Mom, all you can do is write it out. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you should just use more butter.
Yeah.
Dilute the can of butter. No, the only thing is time. That's the only.
What was that? Like a year and a half, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years. I haven't touched anything since.
Yeah. Wow.
I won't even be in the room if I've been smoking.
So here's my little quandary on that. The fact that, okay, I had a higher tolerance of it for what got spread on my slice of toast, okay? I mean, but I'm doing this a while. She used the same amount of can of butter on her toast, and she's a newbie.
Yeah.
So
hit her hard.
So what happened was she went from she went from 0 to 200 in like seconds. Okay, and then after that, she started spiraling, and then when all the fright started coming in, that's when all the other symptoms started writing themselves out. I'm like,
no, it wasn't from the fright; it was from the spinning.
Yeah, you were frightened that you were spinning.
Well, I was sick from spinning.
That's what I'm saying.
It was horrible.
Right.
Did she spin right round?
It's worse than morning sickness.
Like a rock and roll record. But,
Maybe.
But that's her experience with that. And
yeah, I don't go near that stuff.
No, she's sorry.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, it's just, bad trip.
I survived. I mean, I've had sinus surgery. I've had 2 C-sections. I don't think I ever felt that sick any of those times.
Wow.
Best of all, you've survived Ivan.
True. It's a daily thing. We just,
Yikes. Yeah. Well, Ivan decided, Ivan would partake, and I'd be like, nope, no thanks.
Well, you know what? It's not for everybody, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people like it, some people don't. Some people like the effects. Like my daughter has anxiety and depression, and she's tried different medications.
Well, she's smoking for mental health, And the
medication she's had nothing but problems with. Nothing ever worked right for her. Made her feel drugged, stuff like that. She started smoking weed, and it helps her. She also has migraines, and it helps her migraines.
Oh,
so
that's good.
So, I mean, I don't like the idea of her smoking, because of her little lungs. And same thing with Ivan. But I think the benefits for my daughter. And she's 24 years old. I can't tell her, oh, you can't do that. Mommy says no. I can tell her I'm not crazy about it. Don't drive when you're doing it. But
yeah.
Anyways.
Well.
Well.
Okay.
So
that being said, okay. So, you're done with so the Facebook drama has kind of subsided. You did a couple of lives this week.
Yeah, I mean, so that whole situation being what it was, and it was just like, okay, it's like, dude, you can't just keep paying mind to every little solitary thing that goes as a negative, man. You'll be sitting there, weighing yourself down. It'll take a short time for it to happen, but it will happen if you keep doing it. Yeah. You can't be, I mean, because people are going to do, and they're going to say what they're going to say. And okay, it's just a matter of resilience, a matter of character, and and just just good common sense. So it's like, you can't just keep thinking that you want to say things and hurt people and then think it's all right.
Yeah, what's this lashing out that seems like to be the MO there, and that just get old.
You know what? It's kind of like Hulk Hogan being. It's kind of like Hulk Hogan being worse than a free prize in a Cracker Jack box. I mean, who wants an octopus sticker that doesn't even fucking stick? I mean, no one.
Right. So that being said, I mean, I was just like.
Okay. Jeff, what have you been doing?
Oh my God. I have been...
You've been so busy. Busy.
I have been really busy this past week. So there is a there's a contest going on Clubhouse that they're calling it the 5-minute Power Talk, and the person who wins is going to win $5,000. And it's you can enter for free. And basically, people are coming in and giving their talks from about 9. People are coming in and giving their talks from about 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and it started this week. And over the weekend, I was coaching a bunch of people for it, so I got to hear a lot of people's different stories and pieces and whatnot. But after a while, it starts to get a little draining when you've been working with so many people. I mean, I think in the last 72 hours, I think I've been working with I worked with 7 different competitors that are competing. So and there's a part of me where and then this morning, you guys will get a kick out of this. So somehow to start off all of everything, I am the first MC on Monday morning, which is hysterical because it's I would have thought the person who's running the show would be the first person. And I kept saying, it's hey, when do I need to know about this? What do I need to have? What do I need to know? And I'm trying to start doing what I need to do.
Yeah, get things organized.
Get everything organized. And it's oh yeah, you gotta do this. Oh, you forgot about that. Oh, you need to do this. And I'm you should have told me all this yesterday. And it's everybody's oh, he's doing a really good job. And sometimes I feel they were placating me a little bit, but at the same time, I'm just kind of hey, you gotta get this in. Hey, you got to get that in. And the best is, I got people sending me notes on the new Clubhouse back channel. I got DMs coming in from Instagram. And in the meantime, while I'm trying to do all this stuff, and it's hey, remember to hit this. Hey, remember to do that. Hey, you got to have this up. And then to top it off, I figured, okay, I'm just emceeing, right? I didn't think I actually needed to time the person who was speaking to make sure the times were right. They're oh no, you have to be the timer too. I'm I don't recall being the MC included being the timer, but okay. So I'm constantly.
Seems like they just put all the hats on you.
Well, it seemed like it, and then we got a couple people. Well, we got people in the room judging, so there's 3. There's usually every 2 hours they got 3 different people who are judging, and so it was funny because I didn't do any judging in the morning, but I did come back in the afternoon and do some judging, and. I don't know. It was funny. I was listening to some of them, and I don't know. It was really weird because
You think they took your advice?
Well, keep in mind, not everybody who I heard were people I worked with.
Okay.
Because there's 250 people.
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So I didn't see everybody. But it was interesting because there's some people I've seen in other places, in other walks of other places who are very, very talented that I was look who's here. Then again, when $5,000 is a line, I can't blame some of these people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
$5K, man. I'll take $5K.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of laugh. It's here, Mike, I'll teach you how to speak right now. You can go compete tomorrow. Because there still are openings, by the way, if people are listening to this current week that we dropped this. So that's
when's the big contest?
So apparently the semifinals are going to happen on Friday, and there's a judge vote, and there's an audience vote, and then they're going to announce the winner at this event that she's running called the Voices of Victory. It's a summit that's coming up. I think it's later in the month, which is fine. I have no problem with that, and it's not going to be on Clubhouse. But they'll announce who won there and who won everything. So that's pretty cool. And again, like I said, it's a good opportunity for me. I've gotten a lot of exposure because I've been out there and I've been doing some coaching and picking up a couple extra bucks. So it's been I've been swamped with that. And then the only other things I can think of is so I did get a chance to sit down. And, you okay over there, Ivan?
Hi, Evan.
Hi, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay. Because it sounded like you're ripping through a book or something like that.
Ripping through a book.
He's on his powder keg.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
He's focusing. He's focused.
It's like an elephant thing. No, I'm kidding. I did get a chance to see Space Jam 2.
Okay. Space Jam 2, the sequel. Was it like an actual sequel or just like another
rethread?
They did reference the original.
Okay.
That they actually gave it where it wasn't just a redo. It was, they built on the fact that 25 years ago there was a game very similar to this.
Okay.
So they actually did do that. I was a little impressed by that. That was sort of, that they didn't just basically go, oh, that didn't exist or that didn't happen. They did kind of go that way. The best thing.
Did they even mention Michael?
Yes.
They did say the word Michael. They did say Michael.
Okay. Well, I don't want to ruin anything, but there is a moment, and there's Michael Jordan there is a Michael Jordan moment.
Okay.
I will leave it at that.
Okay.
I don't want to give, unless you guys are really not, or I should sit there and say that. If you want to see Space Jam 2 and you haven't seen it and you're planning on seeing it, you may want to skip this part unless, are either one of you planning on seeing this?
I plan to see it. I was going to see it yesterday, but I just took a nap and just been chilling, so no, I didn't see it.
Okay.
I didn't see it yet. I plan to see it.
Here's the question I have for you. Do you want to know anything, or do you want me to kind of keep it on the down low?
Give us the spoilers. Give us all the spoilers. Spoiler alert here, if anyone wants to. Skip ahead a few minutes.
Okay. So the long and the short of it is, the bad guy this time is a little different. And it is not like they're aliens and they're from another planet and they're from Moron Mountain or anything like that. It is, basically what happens is that LeBron,
James?
LeBron basically goes to the Warner Bros. Studios and they unveil this new AI that supposedly is going to revolutionize things. And the AI is played by, what's his name? Don Cheadle. And LeBron, it rubs
Captain Planet.
For some strange reason, Captain Planet. No, what's his name? The guy who's
wasn't Don Cheadle? Didn't he play like a live action Captain Planet?
No, did he? I don't know. I know
he did some superhero.
Right, he's War Machine.
Yeah, he's in the MCU.
Right, he's War Machine. But anyway,
I'm saying before that.
I don't know. Anyway, the point being is, so he zaps LeBron and his son into his universe, and he kidnaps LeBron's son, and to get him back, he has to play a basketball. And so, unlike last time, there is what's known as the Warnerverse, and the best way to describe it is, if you've seen Ready Player One, someone watched Ready Player One and said, hey, let's kind of like create something kind of like that, except with like the Warner stuff. So, what's going on over there? Everything going okay, guys?
We're fine, thank you. I apologize. I'll shut up.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
That's okay.
Not like that.
But so they have their different spheres within it. So like you have your Harry Potter sphere, you have DC Comics that gets prevalent, there's the Matrix, there's a bunch of different other ones. And he gets dumped off in the Toon World, where apparently the only person who's there is Bugs. And so he runs into Bugs, and Bugs is going to supposedly help him get a team. And LeBron has all these ideas for people he wants on his team, but of course it ends up being all the Looney Tunes. And the interesting part is where they find some of the Looney Tunes, and this is where things are going to get in. This is where it's the stuff that you're going to start to see down the road in terms of pictures and whatnot that people are really going to go nuts over. Like LeBron and Bugs Bunny in a Batman and Robin costume.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that where LeBron LeBron was Robin. He was in a Robin show.
Right, and like Daffy being like Superman. And by the way, Superman does show up in this as well, and it's the classic looking version from the cartoons,
like the Max Fleischer or the Bruce Timm.
The Bruce Timm.
Okay.
The Bruce Timm version, and we do see Batman in there too. I can't remember who they run into at Harry Potter, but the one that I think that people are really going to find interesting is so. In the Matrix world, they find Granny and Speedy, and they're all decked out, very Matrixy looking.
Wow!
They're all very Matrixy looking, and I can't remember who they had. Who was so I know because I know Mike's a fan of this. So Rick and Morty show up.
Oh,
Rick and Morty show up, and they go, "Hey, we're done with this," and they literally like throw them Taz.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact line, but Rick and Morty made a cameo. Apparently, they had the Tasmanian Devil.
That's sweet.
The other one that is interesting is Lola. They find Lola on Themyscira, and she's in the process of taking her trials to become an Amazon warrior.
Wow.
So they have Lola Bunny pretty much looking like a Wonder Woman Amazon. So you'll see some of this stuff probably start to come out because it is cool. I mean, it's cool looking at all that stuff, like some of these little like cameo pieces and whatnot. The best way I can say it is,
well, there's some people that are actually saying, "Oh, this is just one big merchandising."
Yeah, so like all of Warner Brothers IP. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I can see where certain people would say that, and I agree with them. But there's enough cool looking stuff with some of this stuff where it's fun. At least in my opinion, I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. And I thought it was worthwhile.
Okay.
I can't remember. Foghorn Leghorn is somewhere. I can't remember where. You get the idea. But there's some crossover kind of pieces there where it's definitely commercialized, but at the same time, there's a part of me going, some of this is too much fun and too cool not to be played with, and we're not see this on the internet, not see this on social media, if you know what I mean.
Right.
The best way to describe the plot is you take the old Space Jam, you take Ready Player One, because you've got all these different worlds,
right,
so to speak. Okay. And then the plot is kind of like Hook. And this is the part this is the part where I gotta be impressed in some ways about LeBron, about what he was willing to script himself. Because LeBron, for most of the movie, while a good guy, at points comes off as a total dick. I mean, seriously, like a total dick. Like
intentionally?
Like, yeah, kind of intentionally.
Huh.
Like, where he's like a curmudgeon of sorts, or somewhere along those lines. And it works for what they're trying to do. The best description I could give is it's like someone watched Hook and said, "Hey, I could lift this for Space Jam 2."
Oh boy!
Or maybe like he was trying to play like the Eddie role from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where the protagonist, Bob Hoskins, he played a curmudgeon kind of, like he wasn't very fond of tunes.
No, I mean, I don't want to get too okay. So I guess.
But the reason that happened was when they were in Toontown, he got a piano, dropped on his head.
Yeah, but so just to make sure I explain it better, because I was trying not to go more in depth, but I guess I'm going to have to, because you guys are making assumptions on this, which is, so basically at the beginning, LeBron has his two sons, and one of his sons really wants to go do computer camp, and he doesn't really want to do basketball, but LeBron's like, "Hey, you have to focus, and no time for fun. We need, you need to focus when you're on this court. It's not about fun and games. This is about what you want to do for your future. That kind of stuff. Very, very, very that kind of thing where he kind of comes off a little curmudgeon-y and a little not,
What?
in that way.
Okay.
So, like I said, I mean,
No.
Obviously, there's the basketball game. It's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. It was worthwhile. Look, if you want me to, if I'm giving it Yemen's, maybe I would say 2.
Really?
I mean, I would. Well, but here's the thing. What I'm saying too, I'm trying to be realistic. But if you go in knowing that, look, it's not going to be great, but it is fun. I mean, I had a good time watching it. Yeah. I didn't have a bad. It was, it was entertaining for 2 hours. Just, if you're going to sit there and pick the plot holes out, you're going to be, got to be annoyed about the commercialism, or you're going to be annoyed about certain other aspects along those lines. Yeah, then congratulations. It knocks down to 2. If you can stay away from that thought process, you can enjoy it for 2 hours. It's an enjoyable movie for 2 hours. If you already know that these are things that are going to be there. Again, I didn't sit there for the 2 hours going, God, why am I watching this?
Did you think the first one was better?
I feel like that's bias on my end. To
right,
say yes.
As a Bulls fan, right?
Well, not even just as a Bulls fan. I mean, I'm just biased just in general because I like, like somebody said, if you really go back and look at the ratings for the first one that were out there, they weren't that much better than what LeBron's getting.
You're right.
They weren't. They were like 2 stars and that kind of stuff. It was Michael Jordan, and there were enough people who were like, oh, it's Michael Jordan. It wasn't exactly rocket science there. It wasn't like a classic. Later on, it became a classic, and in some ways, some of it was because of the fact that the soundtrack helped too.
But then, I mean, for the first Space Jam, musically, there were some hits off of that soundtrack.
Yeah, and I think that helped things along those lines. I said, I thought it was entertaining. Oh, I'm sorry. And there's a nice moment for Porky Pig where he's the notorious P.I.G.
Okay.
I can dig it.
Where old Porky seems to be able to suddenly not bib so much and really seems to be able to spit out like a pretty top-notch rapper. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, take it for what it is. I mean, if you take it for what it is, it's a popcorn. It's an okay popcorn movie. If you're not going to take it for what it is, then, and in fairness, I think kids will enjoy it. But look, you're going to sit there and poke holes in the entire time and look at certain things logically and all those other aspects, or look at the commercialism and sit there and already have a mindset of, oh, Michael Jordan's better. Then you're right. You're going to not. It's not going to be a good time. You're not going to have fun. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I'm trying to think about it. Oh, and the only other thing I could say is, we did, so we did, and then Sunday Night Stories was this past week. So we had 3 new storytellers, and then since our 4th storyteller dropped out midweek, so I ended up telling a story. I don't know if I ever told Ivan. Well, have I ever talked about the time that I got kicked off of the news crew in college for 3 months?
I believe you did.
Okay, I may have. So I told that story because I think it's kind of funny.
Okay.
Yeah. So I told that story, and then so that's me. Mike? What about you? What you been up to?
Not much. Went to the Wilmont Flea Market yesterday, and that was packed. Everyone was outside. It was packed. I got my back of my neck got burnt, but I had a good time. It was nice walking around. Had like a
sounds like
didn't find anything. Didn't see anything there, but still good to get out and seeing the crowds.
Fleas?
No, there were no fleas for sale. I didn't see any fleas for sale.
Okay.
At the flea market. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Got caught up on Bad Batch. This last 2-parter was pretty good.
Okay.
That deals with Hera from Rebels and her family because of the planet of those people with the 2 kind of tentacle things for Hera. Not like Ahsoka, but it's like the Hera, the green chick from Rebels.
Medusa?
No, not
like
Medusa.
Is it like a Twi'lek?
Yeah, that's them.
Okay.
It's like the dancer that got eaten by the Rancor at the beginning of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, whatever those are. Yeah. And yeah, this last two-part was pretty good. Actually, the first one was like kind of because like the Bad Batch actually was only in it for like 3 minutes. But then now they come back and it was the night there's gonna be a jailbreak. But it wasn't bad. This Bad Batch is finding some of its stride. There's a lot of these episodes are hit or miss, but he's fine. It's on Disney Plus. Did we talk last week about the Loki finale, or was that Friday?
No, that was after we
yeah, Friday. Yeah, this Friday was Wednesday was the Loki finale. So we'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bad Batch wasn't good. I finally transformed Unicron. that wasn't so bad. I thought it'd be scarier, but because the panels had a lot of flex to them, and I got the thing put into robot mode, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, this is kind of a really beefy material.
That's a 5-pound chuck, yes. Very beefy.
Very beefy, 5-pound chuck.
Yes.
I mean, I saw it and I was just like amazed. I was like, wow.
It's a biggin. It's got a lot of, he's got his planet on his legs and his back, but that's what it does what it do. And yeah, it looks good.
So he's got the whole world in his hands?
Yeah. Of it, man.
On his back. He's got the whole world on his back, pretty much. Almost, a lot of the planet hemispheres are on his shins. And on his back.
That's low-hanging balls right there.
Mm-hmm, yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
But no, not much. Nothing else. Just, like I said, just been working. And now we got the heat back.
Craziest thing that's happened at the hardware store this week?
Fiesta days now. A lot of out-of-towners. So,
Wait, stop. People really come in from out of town to come to Fiesta Days in McHenry?
Yeah.
From where?
I don't know, like around town, like they come from Lake Geneva, wherever we had the fireworks last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday was the last day, was the parade.
When those people come from out of town, do they have shoes?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Not had to kick you one out for the shoes, but... we had the craziest thing, guy, our system manager was with a guy for like an hour. He bought like a big green egg and a bunch of accessories. It was like $5,000.
Wow.
Wait, what did he buy?
He bought a big green egg. It's like those big ceramic egg grills.
Oh, it's a grill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he dropped like $5,000.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
He probably does everything but fly. He probably does that too.
Yeah, that big green egg is a couple 100 pounds. That thing ain't gonna fly. Unless it's an F5 tornado.
Is it everything it's cracked up to be?
Yeah, we get people who crack the big green eggs too. Like, sorry, Charlie.
Will be there, but the house will be gone though.
Yeah, you dropped it.
What's the craziest thing you've ever had somebody walk in to want to try to buy that you don't have?
Oh, we get a lot of people who think we could just like repair anything. They'll bring in like a toaster or a vacuum cleaner, saying, "Will you fix this?" I'm like, "No."
Dang.
Well, in fairness, you guys fixed our, well, not you, but the one by my house fixed our shredder.
Your paper shredder got jammed?
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of different. You just kind of like, reach in there and take your fingers.
Well, no, he had it for like a couple of weeks or something.
Oh, okay.
He went in there and had to like go in there and do whatever the hell he needed to do or
just
something.
Unjam
like
it,
that.
yeah. Well, that was nice of him.
So,
but yeah, people bring in all kinds of crazy stuff. They're bringing like light fixtures, saying, "Oh, how do you put this up?" Like, well, you have to hang it on the electrical box. It hangs off of that, and then whatever. And yeah, I get a lot of stuff who break stuff and think we could just wave our magic wand.
Did anybody like come in and be like, "Hey, man, I need to buy some underwear"?
Well, we did when we used to have the dollar section. We used to have like all kinds of like diabetic socks and all kinds of clothes and stuff. We still have we have like Carhartt clothes, which means we have like shirts and pants and socks.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't think we have any underwear.
Okay. Like anybody ever like walk in and been like, yeah, I need like a vibrator.
No one comes in looking for those.
I just
I would never know if anybody would go.
So what are you eating, Ivan?
I'm eating.
Right.
What are you eating?
I am eating limited edition.
Julie.
Frank's Red Hot original flavoring Goldfish.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for sharing.
I was hoping for something much better. That's because he's
focusing on those goldfish.
Yeah. Yes.
They taste so good.
They're swimming away.
I thought the powder keg isn't supposed to give you the munchies.
Everything gives him the munchies.
After a while, but
Breathing gives Ivan the munchies.
Wow.
Everything.
Wow. Touch your ball, that one's gone. Kaboom! Oh, yeah.
So now up and up a notch. So okay. So let's see what kind of news we got this week. I just saw you posted something from was it Screen Rant or something about how Black Widow dropped off.
Yeah, and it's funny because they all want to frame this about. So I've noticed a trend in some of what gets put out from entertainment news, and it's very interesting in that when these numbers aren't working or when there are certain aspects, it's like it's very slant. A lot of this stuff is really slanted towards theaters and about what's good for theaters and what works for theaters, and not nearly as much about what's good for the people. Right. And so they're pointing fingers back at Disney about the fact that there are people who, because they were able to get it on demand, that as a result it's added to some piracy aspects as well, where copies like that are getting.
Pirate's going to pirate. I mean, no matter if it's on a phone or a camcorder or an iPad or even just if it was released digitally.
Yeah, look, let's put it with that. That's been a problem all along.
Yeah, for decades.
Just interesting.
There's this headline from Deadline about Black Widow posts steepest second weekend box office drop for Disney MCU title. Studio silent on PVOD update as piracy impacts pick.
So basically, it still took in about 27 million last week.
Yeah, and Space Jam too, obviously won last week in the box office. So
yeah, so it's funny. It's funny. What's interesting here is they kind of poo-poo about Space Jam versus. It's funny because at the same time while they're complaining about that, they're not really complaining about Space Jam's numbers, even though Space Jam is being shown on Warner. And their rationale is, well, we are aware that they're doing that. I guess the rationale or the thought process in this article from Deadline is that this might be something that Disney continues to do even after everything is more calmed down with the pandemic, whereas we know with Warner Brothers that this is really kind of a here and now thing, if you know what I mean. And that basically they'll go back to their regular format and formula in that regard.
And instead of simultaneously releasing a film in theaters and release it on their streaming service, as this post-COVID world we're living, we've changed things forever. There's no going back. Well, there kind of might be some going back in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're hoping for, is we can go back to, seeing the theater, seeing it 2 or 3 more times in the theaters instead of just, I like the movie, instead of, I'll pay $30 for the film to have it on my television now.
I missed the movie going experience myself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Spider-Man in December.
I gotta tell you, there's a part of me where, don't get me wrong, I mean, there's a part of me where I enjoyed the experience. There's a part of me where I'm not missing it. You know,
there's part of me neither,
nice.
like, like the kid behind me kicking my seat,
Well, I mean, like, for example, okay, would I have normally have gone to the movies on a Saturday night and paid full price to watch this movie? No, I wouldn't.
How you doing, Ivan?
I'm fine. I'm paying attention.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, you just the gain is back up on Ivan's phone.
Well, yeah, it was because I'm sitting here quietly.
Right, and then the gain comes up on your mic, and then when you finally talk, the background noise kind of overpowers. And this is just what we've learned to live with here on the Squares Roundtable.
I guess we have to live with it.
That's right. I can live with it. We just stay focused. That's all we need to do. Just stay focused.
Wrap myself around my phone.
All right.
Here I am.
All right.
Oh, baby.
Oh, right.
All right. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, it was nice to be able to just kind of sit in my house and watch a movie on a Saturday night and not have to worry about what it costs and how much the popcorn's going to be and all that.
Truth be told, if
garbage.
they're doing the same thing in December with Spider-Man, I'd be okay with like ordering a couple of pizzas and having some friends over and watching Spider-Man, same like we did with Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great time.
Yeah, we had a good time. I was glad I had you guys over. But I mean, if they do the same thing in December with Spider-Man, I might be tempted to just be like, you know what? Let's just order in some pizzas and we'll.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of this is going to come down to. Again, a lot of this is going to come down to where we are.
Someone with us?
Where we are with everything that's been going on. I mean, things seem to be better, but there's certainly some issues, and I don't want to go down that road and talk about it. But again, some of it's going to be that we're going to have to cross those. That we're going to have to cross those bridges still, and I don't know that we're all that ready to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think about anything else. I know there was a new Titans trailer that dropped. I don't know if you saw that or not, Mike.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, we get to see a lot more of the Red Hood. Yeah, it looks good. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I think I talked to Bill when he was here at the party, and I said, yeah, when it drops, we're going to binge it at his house.
Okay.
Maybe not the whole season in one sitting. Maybe we'll do like half of it or something.
Well, the nice part is because now it's not DC Universe anymore. It's going to be HBO Max.
Yeah.
So if you've got access to HBO Max, now I'm curious how much. I mean, we're starting to see promotion. I'm curious how much they're going to do promotion beyond the geek world on this.
Yeah.
But the trailer looks good. The trailer looks real good. I mean, real good to the point of where I'm kind of like sitting there going, okay, that's what I'm talking about.
At least we know we're going to get Blackfire, which they teased heavily in season 2.
Right. Like I said, it's interesting because I'm kind of curious to see how this is all going to fit together because apparently Scarecrow is in the mix and they're going to be in Gotham and the Red Hood's going to be a thing. So I'm trying to figure out how all the moving parts are going to happen.
Joker and so the supposed death of Jason Todd and
right.
I don't know.
Sounds like a whole lot is going to go on.
Yeah. That's a lot of activity.
I just wish they would give. I mean, this is a part. Okay, so this is just me having my frustration and knowing that this won't happen. But it's like, man, I just wish they'd give even a little bit of what if they would give any kind of backing, even a tenth of the backing that Zack Snyder got for that stupid Justice League cut to Titans. They could make it an even better show, and they could get more people watching it. And it's sad because once upon a time, this was the superhero group that pretty much was carrying the company in the 80s. As a matter of fact, at one point, it was outselling Batman.
Yeah, for a time. 40 years ago. You're right.
At one point, it was outselling Batman. Now Batman is really their top thing. But back when this was going on, Batman wasn't back in the mid to late 80s.
Until the 89 Batman before the Dark Knight.
Right. Until that point, Batman was not the number one selling title for DC. Matter of fact, it wasn't even in the top two. The top two selling titles for DC Comics at the time were the new Teen Titans and the Legion.
Yeah, and that was that was at the time. You're right. So now we're Titans is getting its due, and at least in some form. And the thing is, they're focusing heavily on Batman Rogues Gallery and not Titans Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, and that's again, this is one of those where it's like, I feel like in some ways they're doing some of this to keep how can I say, to try to build for a season 4, if you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I have this feeling like there's Warner Brother execs and HBO execs and those types of individuals who are like, all right, well, I guess we'll do a season 3 that weren't necessarily sold on this show as much as why it's important from that perspective. I just wish they got the kind of backing that the X-Men got back in the 2000s. But they're not getting it, and that's unfortunate. Because really in reality, this is the title that kept them going, and really in reality...
Well, those titles kept them going back then. Well, this is now.
Well, even back... and I'll challenge that too. Because what's the number one... What's the number one show on
what's the only show on Cartoon Network right now?
Right.
Fucking Teen Titans Go.
Right. So
it's on like 22 out of 24 hours every day. It's on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, because that's their nest egg. That's their moneymaker.
Right. Well, and so to me, I kind of laugh that, I mean, again, I understand where you're coming from, Mike, but this has been kind of one of those here's the thing. Here's the best way I can put it. Marvel has the X-Men and they have the Avengers. When I look at what Warner Brothers, when I look at Warner Brothers and I look at DC Comics, it seems like it's all about the Justice League and nothing fucking else. Nothing else. And the irony is that it doesn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way. But that's basically what it's been turned into when it comes to TV and comics for the most part. I mean, there's been some anomalies where, thankfully we've gotten Young Justice, and it's been great. And, because we had the cartoon with the Titans cartoon, it kind of worked out that way. But we're finally getting some of this live action stuff, and it just doesn't seem... I mean, Doom Patrol seemed more supported than Titans in some ways. And that's sad. That's unfortunate. But again, hopefully this season will be good. It'll get some buzz, and people will watch, and then things will go forward and things will be better.
Yeah, so, I agree. And we can, at least we're getting something better than nothing. Might not be what we want, but it's something.
Yeah,
I shall endeavor to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy what I got. That's not neither here nor there. I can still be bitchy and piss off about the fact that Zack Snyder got a whole bunch of money for when really in reality I wish they kind of dropped that kind of money on a franchise that could be as big, if not bigger, than Justice League if they put the money towards it. But that's just me.
Mm.
So
there you go.
Trying to think of anything else that we had that came out this week before we get into Loki. I know we talked about What If last week.
Yeah, What If is coming. A lot of shit's coming this week. I got next week. It's this weekend. The next season of the Netflix Transformers series, the He-Man series is coming. I got quite a few things that are on the horizon in the next few weeks.
Right, there's a bunch of stuff that I have that I still need to get to that I have not gotten.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that animated, The Long Halloween Part 1 is out. I'm meaning to get into that. Of course, I'll watch Space Jam. You know, it wasn't ever a big. I think I saw it in the theater back in the day. Probably went with Trevor.
You know.
So yeah, there's some good stuff coming, content-wise.
Right. So, I think. So I guess we can get into the Loki stuff because I'm not sure what else. I'm sure there's something else I'm missing that I'm not thinking about, but
didn't make any notes.
Well, the only other thing I got going on this week is Thursday. I do the chef specialty.
Will you be on your
Specialty cocktail.
Yeah, it's a chef specialty cocktail bar. I'm going to be down there doing a live DJ gig from 9:30 to 12:30 on Thursday, and that's going to be fun. And the nice thing is, you think of the title, and it's all Asian food. It's really supposed to be really very good. So, and what was nice is that the good people there were sweet enough to go ahead and work their food into the cost of doing the room and everything, and I'm very flattered. And it's very gratifying to start a new venture at this place. And let's see. And then Saturday, I got word about the Windy City Soul Club. Of course, they're going to be over at Sleeping Village on Belmont, which that's supposed to be good. I think there are still tickets available, $5 a ticket through Bitco. And let's see what else. And then just also with the Saturday Chicago Soul and R&B, which tending to do a little Chicago music situation over at the Spinning Wheel, and then the usual Super Sunday, spectacular session Sunday over at New Spinning Wheel on the Sunday, which is it's cool. Because I had the party yesterday, which it's just Sunday. So I was out there and just having this wonderful kind of got lost in a time. So that being said, that's pretty much what I got going on this week as far as I know.
Okay, cool. Jeff?
Hey.
Well,
what do you got? Do you got anything going on this week? Outside of your Sunday stories?
I got Sunday stories.
Yep.
I've got the Power Talk stuff that is this week, and that's probably about it.
Okay.
That's what I've got going on for this coming week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can think of. Not off the top of my head at the moment.
Okie doke.
So.
Okie dokie,
so
Loki.
We'll talk about Loki.
That's right.
The Loki finale, the part 6 of the 6-part series.
Da, da, da.
Of course, Wednesday morning, I had to drop off my sister at the train. And thank you, Ivan. That's correct. That's the noise the train makes. You see, you're staying focused. That's good. And on my way back from the train, she sent me a spoiler, and I was a little pissed off. I'm like, gosh. So now I got to watch it. So I raced home, and I got to my device, my screen, and I watched the season finale of, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Loki. If you're listening, you probably have. But spoilers, yes, the season 1 finale. Like, WandaVision got one season. Falcon Winter Soldier, as far as you know, got 1 season. Loki, but that's what what pissed me off. What Sherry sent me on the way back is that Loki's been greenlit for season 2. So I know, great. So this is probably going to be a cliffhanger. And so I go in. I don't want to give the full rundown, but it's set up the villain for the next phase of the MCU, and I'm fine with it. I think this is going to work out good. I think, at least in the cosmic sense.
Good, yes.
Oh yes, Ivan's having sex with Julie. Oh yes.
Good, yes.
Mash, good.
Good.
Monster. Ivan's doing the monster mash over there. But so as we speculated, Loki and Sylvie make their way through the gateway, past the quote unquote guard dog, and they get to this old castle looking thing, and where they lead their way in. And Miss Minutes has been playing a lot more of a different role. Like we get I saw an article where they kind of demonstrated there was a role reversal between the one chick who initially captured Sylvie and then was promoted, and Miss Minutes, where I think one is passive and the other one's active. Now it seems like there's the other way around, where I forget her name, the one chick, where Renhauser, I think is her name? Renslayer. That's her name. Thank you. Where she's the one now. She's even though they found out that the timekeepers were a red herring, they were just like the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain.
Man behind the curtain,
right? Where the timekeepers were nothing, and what was the TVA doing? But the TVA was they're put in place by, I think, the man who remains. But anyone who knows anything about Marvel will know that the man who remains is Kang.
Yeah, except I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I didn't. No, as soon as he said the 31st century, I was like, that's Kang.
You know what? Just fucking say who you are.
Okay.
I'm sorry. A lot of people were like, how did you not catch that? I'm tired of having to read between the lines from fucking Marvel and have to figure out everything like a fucking Zapruder film. I really am. I really am.
I had to know. I didn't know who. Yeah, some of these when we're getting into these fourth tier characters. Like, I didn't know who Agatha was from WandaVision. I had to look her up.
Right. Well, I don't even mean that. It's like, technically, it's not even Kang. It's not Kang. It's somebody else. We're going to get to Kang. In the meantime, I don't know who the actor is who's playing Kang. Am I supposed to fucking be paying attention to that to be aware of this shit?
Well,
I don't know. I don't care.
I don't care who's playing him. I mean, he seems like a good actor.
Right, but that seemed to be the reason why everybody was aware of who it was, and I'm just
that wasn't the reason. That wasn't my reason.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway.
So I guess I'm the one who missed.
But you called it. You called it. You said, I was like, oh, we'll get all this figured out in episode 6. And Jeff's like, no. And Jeff was right. You were right. We didn't get shit solved.
No, we didn't. Not only did we not get shit solved. My favorite was the guy is this all powerful being. Is literally talking about
Wizard of Oz.
Well, and it's funny he actually referenced that, Ivan.
Yeah.
But the point being is he literally starts talking about the hero's journey and how that works. And I literally wanted to sit there and be like, okay, so you wanted to do this meta writing about the hero's journey, about creating a hero's journey series. And I'm literally sitting there going, yeah, but here's the thing. At some point, there has to be a conflict. And P.S., there really hasn't been one. I mean, there really hasn't been much of one at all. I mean, it's just not worth it.
Well, I mean, we had the big battle at the end of season with Agatha and Wanda. The end of season, end of Falcon Winter Soldier, we had the big battle at New York City at the end. This one, we didn't have a big crash, boom, bang fight. If anything, we had a fight between the Loki and Sylvie out of a disagreement. Like the falling out between the two of them, which is kind of which gave me the feels a little bit, Yeah, and then we had our ancestral moment where the two of them kissed. So I wanted to play the banjo and think I was in Kentucky, because really they're kissing versions of themselves. So it's like, okay, so you're alternate universe versions of themselves. Okay, that's kind of like basically, it's masturbation. It's self-love. I don't know. Self-love. That's the best way to put it. There you go.
Okay.
But they're not identical, though. They're not identical versions of, like, it's not just like, put a pair of tits on Tom Hiddleston. It's not, it's different than that. Yeah, but it's still like having a sister. But he said, this great exchange between the two of them leading up to that fight and how she kicked him out using the temp pad. It's like, you can't trust, and I can't be trusted. I mean, that's great, and that's part of what this whole series was. But it's a psychoanalysis of the person who becomes Loki in all these different universes.
Ah.
Some of them petty, some of them grandiose, some of them smart, some of them not so smart. Some of them reptilian.
Look, I mean, the biggest thing to me that comes out of this is that they they have now set a lot of moving parts into motion for other things that are going to occur, and we can get to that here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, it became really clear that, you know, it's funny. Like I said, I said it beforehand that we were not going to get a lot of resolution. I think the most interesting part is we didn't get a lot of resolution because we're getting another season of Loki, which I think is interesting because to me, here comes the new questions that I have about a season 2, which is how much of the characters that we've seen in Loki will spill out into the other things planned when I say other things, I mean the actual characters in Loki. Will they actually spill out into other shows and movies in the MCU, or will it be one of those things where it's kind of in the end kind of self-contained? Ivan, are you making out with yourself or something?
No, I'm just sitting here, just listening.
Okay.
Ivan's totally baked.
He's focused. He's so focused.
Is he? Because it sounds just baked.
You know, I am here. I'm very quiet, and I'm just observing.
Okay.
Until the air conditioner goes in.
Well, you haven't had that problem tonight, so that's okay.
It'd be interesting to see how these characters appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is outside of the Disney Plus series.
Oh.
Right. Well, or will they? Or will they at all?
Or do you think? Well, you're the one who said that this series could have been resolved. You know, we got 6 50-minute episodes. That's 300 minutes. This could have been summed up a little better in a movie.
This could have been done in 3 episodes. This
could have been done in a 2-hour movie, 2.5 hour.
I would take that series.
Yeah.
But this was. I was still entertained. I still liked it. I'm still not, super, critical or hating of any of this NBCU stuff right now we've had with Disney Plus. But You're right. There's some of it meandered, but some of it for the right reasons for the fostering of this relationship between Loki and Sylvie.
Right. Well, again, part of this, Mike, is
Ivan.
Literally.
How you doing?
Ivan's got a big house.
I'm fine.
Ivan's I can just see him with his shirt off, rolling on the floor. I think that's what he's doing right now. Ivan, stop taking those shirtless selfies.
Did I not tell you he was going to say something?
Well, it's kind of hard not to, honey.
Well, yeah, meat does get hard. Yes, I understand. But yeah.
That 5-pound chuck is waiting.
Yeah, Julie's going to use her 5-pound chuck on you. That's all I got to say about that.
What am I going to do?
They use the 5-pound chuck on me.
Oh, no. I don't want to ruin it.
Oh!
Here I am without a head.
That's okay. Apparently she'll have one for you.
Sock it to me.
Yeah, 5-pound chuck, it'll sock it to you, all right. But anyway.
I know.
But yeah, I'm honest. Like I said, Mike, I think the question is will we see Owen Wilson's character anywhere outside of this?
Didn't get his fucking jet ski.
Will we see
what?
Will we see Renslayer outside of this? Will we see Sylvie outside of this? Will we see Loki outside of this? And I'm not sure. I'm not positive of those things. And to take it a step further, I'm curious whether other characters once what happens starts to occur,
Fast.
whether some of those other characters will show up within this second season of Loki. I think
Koki.
No, Croaky, that's a different thing. Wow,
Croaky is the everyone's calling the alligator Loki is Croaky.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, I think once it became clear that these characters weren't going anywhere or they were going to be used elsewhere, it made a little bit more sense to me. But it's like, they're variants, they're going to have to leave, or are they? Well, the answer is they aren't going anywhere, and it seems as though like they're here to stay for a while, and they might be here for a long time, or may be permanent, or something along those lines. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was for season 1 of Loki. What do you give it out of 5, Yamans?
3.5. 3.
You give it a 3?
Yeah.
I'd give it a 4.
3.5.
I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
That's good.
It just, like you said, it meandered a little bit at times, where they could have, advanced the narrative at certain places. But I found it, it was entertaining, and like I said, I had the feels at the end when the two kind of broke up.
No, I understand. Like I said, I mean, look, the part that is really great about this show is there's a lot of great character development. There's a lot of interesting dialogue, and though I won't discount any of that. Those are great. My headache is, and in fairness, if I knew from the get-go that there was going to be a Loki 2 and that they were going to continue to move these characters forward, maybe I'd feel a little bit differently about it. But to sit there and go, okay, well, this isn't the real Loki anyway. This is just a variant. The real Loki's dead. This isn't going to go anywhere. So obviously he's got to accomplish something, and then that's the end. So, and then when you sit there and you start to build character development for a character, and you're literally like, why are you building character development for a character that ain't going to be around in 6 episodes? And then it becomes clear after a while, it's like, no, that's not what's happening here. This character's going to be around for a lot longer than
almost
6
more
episodes.
a more true iteration.
Right. And that's what became clear. Became clearer and clearer.
I didn't speculate this Loki being killed at the end of this series, because we know that our MCU Loki from our universe was killed by Thanos. I think, but thing is, what kind of pissed me off is that before I watched the episode, I knew that there was going to be a season 2, which means, oh great, a cliffhanger. That's what kind of pissed me off.
Well,
and kind of soured the milk for me before I even watched it.
Well, the biggest cliffhanger that we didn't get to is that when everything goes crazy at the end, Loki's not even on the same Earth anymore, and the Earth he's on is the Earth where Kang's in charge.
When there's no timekeepers, it's him.
Right, it's just Kang. It's just Kang. And so he's not even in the right Earth to whenever this next season is going to start, or is it? I don't know. We'll see.
I presume next year before we get a new season.
Yeah, I can't imagine unless they've been
unless they put it on late in the year.
Yeah, maybe at the very end, but I doubt it.
I doubt it.
At the end of the year, we're going to get season 3 of Mandalorian. I think that's what Disney Plus will focus on. They're pretty smart in the fact that they're not putting it all out at the same time.
Well, at some point,
I see it.
At some point, we're going to see Star Wars content and Marvel content out at the same time, just because there's just by the sheer numbers and of what's to come from both.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a little bit of both where there's going to be some overlap.
Yeah.
But so let's talk a little bit before we head out today on the fact of what the development of creating a multiverse means for the MCU. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, it opens obviously the realm of possibilities. They even talked about bringing Hugh Jackman back. They've talked about, and of course all the speculation when they were filming Spider-Man No Way Home said we're getting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire again. And I'm just
and Jamie Foxx to play Electro.
Jamie Foxx to play Electro again. That's right.
And what's his name to play what's his name that played Dr. Octopus?
Yeah, Alfred Molina.
Yep.
Yeah. I get was Willem Dafoe? Was that Green Goblin?
Yep.
Yeah. The heart, Osborn, the heart. Throw the can of cranberries at him. I actually was pretty good for Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I liked the him as Green Goblin. Kind of worked. But Molina was the best. Spider-Man 2 was
You mess with us, you mess with all.
No, that's right. You mess with us. They had to do that. They throw that in because of New York.
Ah.
Anyway, what's the multiverse, and that's part of like the what if kind of thing is opening up. Like we might get Killmonger as an alternate universe Black Panther. We'll get different versions of the Hulk and different. Obviously, we're getting a Jane Foster Thor in Love and Thunder.
And that's the question: Is Jane Foster as Thor on our MCU Earth, or is that an alternate Earth other than ours?
We're just going to follow Thor's exploits after Endgame, where apparently I think he loses his gut. He does no longer have had Thor after Endgame.
Right, but we all assumed that basically she was going to take the mantle of Thor.
Right, and Chris Hemsworth was going to either die or step down or whatever.
Or something along those lines. But now it's possible that the real answer is that this is Jane Foster from another Earth being Thor.
Yeah.
And from another alternate timeline or something like that.
With her own hammer while he's got the Stormbringer. Right.
Right. Or he's got his own the fact that he's got his own hammer as well. But yeah, I mean, there's that. The other part that's interesting about this is if they keep the multiverse, it certainly then explains how you have the Sony properties on their own Earth, so to speak.
Yeah.
You could, that fixes the problem about, like, one of the things I thought would be interesting is if you could figure out a way to bring back Lou Ferrigno to play like an older Hulk.
Lou's getting old. I heard he got a cochlear implant recently. Yes, because he had suffered from hearing loss.
Right, but I mean, just to give perspective as an idea, of just how far you can take this, or even, for example, even some of the cartoon universes of stuff over the years, where it could be those things. Could be different Earths that are existing, which is how you could maybe bring the X-Men over and not have to reboot. Or, to take it a step further, when this is... Well, we'll see where it goes.
Or we can... Where Marvel looks like they're trying to branch out, like what DC's been doing, a bunch of one-offs that don't necessarily have to be tied to the whole thing. They could be just maybe through the TVA or through the Doctor Strange and the multiverse kind of thing, where they're tied in that way, but they're still all part of Marvel in one way or another.
Well, I do think it's all still going to be tied together. I'm still not convinced that at some point this doesn't lead to Secret Wars, just because of the way that
I think they said we were going to get a what was that? The thing with the Skrulls. Secret Invasion.
But Secret Invasion, but that's a little bit different.
That's different from Secret Wars, I know.
That's different than Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I think the question to me
is...
I'm sorry, Ivan, what was that?
Guardians of the Galaxy had a raccoon. What is he talking about, squirrels?
Oh,
the Skrulls. They were in Captain Marvel.
Squirrels!
Squirrels!
No, the Skrulls. They were in Captain Marvel.
There's a raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the only thing I.
Yes, there's going to be an entire movie.
That's right.
Really, there's an entire movie with squirrels.
I'm surprised I'm sure maybe Squirrel Girl will get a Disney Plus series.
I think she is.
Oh yeah, we did. Speaking of Marvel, we did get a trailer analysis for Free Guy with Korg and Deadpool?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it was amusing. Yeah.
By the way, I thought the other interesting part is, so Tom Hiddleston apparently is now saying that What If will be in continuity of the multiverse.
Okay.
You know what? I don't like it. I don't like it. Maybe it's me being back in the day when I used to pick up those comics and it was just like, it was kind of a one-off thing where it was like, okay.
Yeah, like there was a one-off, like, you know, they've had one-off comics and I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, What If was a series where basically it was What If, and it wasn't like, you know, sometimes they would do multiple issues of a storyline, but it would, in the end, that was
Tom
it.
Hiddleston is not Kevin Feige, so.
Well, but, you know, chances are he was kind of let in on a little of that. But,
maybe.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to me because are they gonna, at the end of the day, will they keep this multiverse, or at some point will they collapse it all back into one Marvel universe? And if they do, there's a lot of moving parts where they can do a lot of interesting things. Where, you know, I hate to say it, where, well, when that collapsed, then we lost certain members of the X-Men, and you can replace them with other people to play X-Men or different characters along those lines. And by the way, the other fun part is when you have alternate realities, guess what? Scarlett Johansson ain't done. Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have to be done. Chris Evans doesn't have to be done if they don't want to be. It's just a question if they're interested, or they want to make Marvel wants to pay them the bucks. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see where this is all going to go. My only concern on all this is, so now Marvel is doing a lot with time travel and alternate universes. And Mike, you're a Star Trek fan. You know sometimes that doesn't go well.
Yeah, I didn't care for the Kelvin timeline, any of the Abrams Trek. But with Marvel, it seems like the logical conclusion because they can't keep paying these actors to do the same shit. They need to evolve, and anything that doesn't evolve dies. So they need to adapt and change with the times. They can't have the same actor play the same dude for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And they have to. Then there's plenty of stories to be told with alternate versions, and so it seems like the logical conclusion for the MCU from a realistic standpoint for me.
I guess. I mean, to me, at some point, I think that they need to be careful because when you're talking about the average moviegoer. I mean, I remember, and I was surprised when I found this to be the case. I remember when Infinity War came out and Endgame came out. Well, we'll start with Infinity War. There were a lot of people who I thought who were as interested or understood and had seen everything like I had. When really in reality, there were a lot of people who didn't. There were a lot of people whose reaction is, do I have to see 20 movies to see this movie? I just want to see an Avengers movie. And so that is kind of my concern here is, yeah, they're doing well with the movies that they've got, but if they start to lose that common viewer who doesn't watch all that stuff all the time, who just wants to watch and go to the movies to see it, that could be problematic.
Right. You know, I've got family members who I was watching The Bad Batch, and family members like, "Oh, you're watching?" They hear the Star Wars sound effects on the TV and like, "Oh, you're watching Star Wars?" Like, yeah, I am, but you don't know these people. You know, it's like, oh, it's like, well, who are these people? And I tried to explain them who they are and when it takes place before Luke Skywalker, and they're like, oh, okay. You're right. Well, so you got to get those, the normies who don't know what's going on. And I fear we might get some of that with Shang-Chi and the Eternals. Where like, whoa, what the hell's going on here?
Maybe. Again, I think the most interesting thing to me, too, is with Bad Batches. Like, for example, when you were explaining Bad Batch to me tonight and you were talking about, well, there was this character from Rebels. And it's like, okay, but I didn't watch Rebels. I don't know anything about Rebels. So now I'm basically sitting here going, well, so if I don't want to watch Rebels, I guess there's no reason to watch Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And by the way, the good news is Marvel's been better about that than the Star Wars universe people are. Star Wars is really
Star Wars never had multi-universes. Well, that maybe in the books they did, but in the movies and TV shows they never had like alternate timelines. I mean, like Rebels introduced time travel into the Star Wars, and that did not sit well with a lot of people because that's the first time they've never had time travel in Star Wars.
Well, I'm not even thinking from that perspective. It's just they seem to want to make it where if you haven't played this video game, you may not realize that this is an important character. If you haven't watched this cartoon show, that you should have seen this because this is an important character.
Or this
for
particular
something.
book, or this particular,
And they do that now. They've done that in the movies in recent years, and they've done that in TV in their cartoons, and even in the Mandalorian like that. Like,
I didn't know who Bo-Katan was until after the episode where I looked her up.
Well, I'll give you one better. I'm sure people are very happy about Rosario Dawson playing
Ahsoka, yeah.
And
well, I didn't know a thing about her, and then but it stood alone by itself just fine. It's one of my favorite episodes from season 2.
People were really excited. My reaction was, whatever. I mean, okay, great. Rosario Dawson's playing some new Jedi character. And everybody, and it's funny, I have friends of mine who sit there and like, aren't you a Star Wars fan? I'm like, yeah, but I don't have time to watch all this shit.
How you doing, Ivan?
Good. Listening.
Mm-hmm.
He's rolling around in 5 pounds of meat, baby.
Well, no, actually, just got done with a beautiful blueberry pie. I'm happy now.
You ate an entire blueberry pie?
Mini one.
It's a little mini one. It's about the size.
You stuck your 5-pound chuck in a blueberry pie?
No.
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 No, a little 4-ounce thing. 14 grams.
So you stuck.
It's a miniature one.
You stuck your 5-pound ground chuck into a 4-ounce blueberry pie.
I miss those hot apple pies from McDonald's. They changed them.
Me too.
They used to be deep fried and now they're newer with the holes on top of them, and they're smaller.
Yeah, they're smaller.
You bite into those were nuclear.
Well, that's all about.
I know, man. It's like when they say surface is hot, you better believe it, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about how you can handle it, you know.
Oh, man, after hours at McDonald's, man, snacking out.
It's all about how you handle your meat and your pie.
And with that, I think we can close the show.
So you tell me where they can find us?
Absolutely. Let me ready for my spiel here. I'm staying focused. We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You know, good content. You can download the show on usual podcast hosting platforms: iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor.fm/SOTRT. We're on Facebook. Now we can share the articles and the memes and the stories and all the things we usually talk about here.
You have money over there.
I'm sorry, who's got money over where?
Nobody has money anywhere.
Yeah, where's my money?
Where's my money? Where's my money, Jack? Where's my money, Jack?
I keep asking the same question to a few people I've done gigs for. So
Ivan is on twitch.tv at Java and Ivan. He's on the Spinning Wheel Facebook page. Jeff is everywhere at Steinamite Productions. Email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
And with that, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here at the Squares of the Round Table. We will be back with you next week with more hilarity, more fun, more whatever the vibe calls for from my men, Jeff and Mike and me. Hasta la vista.